The St. Lucia Social Development Fund presents Sons and Daughters of St. Lucia, the Land, the People. Today's program highlights Patsy Cadet's growth and her contribution to St. Lucia. 1947, another significant year of growth and consolidation for the island. This year was characterized as bad for employment in St. Lucia. In fact, according to Harmson, Ellis and DeVos, A History of St. Lucia, the then Labour Commissioner described it as a very lean year. Patsy Cadet was born into these lean times on July 21st, 1947. Some of the critical buzzwords that were emerging in St. Lucia's development at that time were trade unions, voting rights, elections, universal adult suffrage, and greater political consciousness. Names like Alan Lewis, J.M. DeBusque, Vernon Cooper, John Compton, and George Charles began to take prominence in the development of a political character for St. Lucia. By the early 1960s, banana cultivation had surpassed sugar production, and the benefits to the fledgling economy were tremendous. This was the beginning of the green gold that would lead to St. Lucia's overall development throughout the 1970s and beyond, and Patsy Cadet, now approaching her 20s, was beginning to find her voice.
I could spend my life just loving you. If you could learn to fall in love with me.
While men were busy constructing the early economic landscape, she was striving to gain respect as a female entertainer. Patsy came from a time when people did not think much of entertainers and far less of female entertainers. In the early days, when St. Lucia did not have or understand how the music and entertainment industry could thrive and contribute to economic development, she laments the lack of a union. There was no formal movement or grouping that may have assisted in enhancing the image of local artists. Patsy Cadet is certainly among the forerunners of the commercial Caribbean music industry. By 1973, she was described as the Caribbean's #1 female vocalist. 1 year later, newspapers described her as the only international female vocalist of the West Indies. Miss Cadet emerged as a singer to be reckoned with just as tourism was developing into an industry in St. Lucia. She was a part of that movement, traveling with tourism officials, touring and performing throughout the Caribbean and internationally, selling St. Lucia as a healthy holiday destination. Patsy comes from the time of the vinyl LP, long playing records, and the 45s, which spun at 45 revolutions per minute. Those were the glory days of the record players and turntables when, if your stylus broke, it would break your heart as well. Patsy's contribution to St. Lucian music is vintage. She has given us the hit singles Bad Situation and Loving You.
Keep on doing what you're doing. You're gonna find yourself in a bad situation. Keep on doing what you're doing. You're gonna find yourself in an uptight jam.
Patsy's career is a tale of quiet but resolute boldness. Her legacy is really one of strength of character. She has remained steadfast in the face of many challenges and is proud of the early work she did in starting the foundation for the music and entertainment industry for women today in St. Lucia. Well, that's all we have time for today. Join us next time for another in the series of Sons and Daughters of St. Lucia, a program designed to highlight various aspects of the lives of people who assisted in the development of our island, St. Lucia.